Adult journalist Suspender Jane. She used to do kids shows to internet fame. Now the kids grew up, so she's reinventing. She has a very normal name. It's the Suspender Jane Adult Journalism Show!
Hey guys, it's me, your girl Suspender Jane, and I'm here today with a very special guest. He's complicated, but in a fun way. It's Raj Chattopadhyay!
Hi, Suspender Jane. Thanks for having me. I love supporting amateur journalism.
It's professional journalism.
I like supporting that too.
Thank you. What do you like most about journalists?
I usually like things like when they tell the truth and ask good questions and stuff like that.
I love telling the truth and asking good questions.
Well, great. I think we're going to have a really great interview today then.
Do you always tell the truth? Or can you name 3 times when you've lied?
I'm more of an asking questions person, to be honest.
Evading the question. So on today's show, we're going to learn about a lot of things. We're going to learn about Raj's board game skills. We're going to learn about Raj's relationship to rocket science. And we're going to learn about Raj's 5-year plan.
Let's do it.
Math. Do you like it?
Not really.
Don't you do it?
Yeah, but don't you do things that you don't like to do?
Never.
Never.
Never. I'm a creature of following my joy.
That's pretty remarkable, Suspender
Thank you.
Jane.
Everyone tells me that.
Do you like wearing the suspenders?
Hmm?
Surely you do, right? Because you're following your joy with your suspenders.
I like all my outfits. I don't think of them as suspenders or not suspenders. They're just the most authentic me.
That's really cool, Suspender Jane.
Do you like your kind of like fake knitted, like a factory kind of knitted shirt?
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper than an actual knitted shirt.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love when things are cheaper.
I agree. That's what brings me joy.
Except when it affects labor. Do you hate the labor industry and people who work in it?
No.
Okay. So you don't like math, but you can do math.
I can do math. Everyone can do math.
Anyone can do math?
Even you.
I'm excellent at math.
Oh. Is math your favorite subject?
No, science is my favorite subject. But you need a lot of math in science.
You do.
Do you know what the first number is?
Of course. Do you?
Of course. We'll say it at the same time.
Let's do it.
1. You didn't know the first number.
I thought we were counting down.
I think 1 is the first number.
Why do you think 1's the first number?
Because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But couldn't you start at 0? You could go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But it's like how black and white aren't colors.
Is that true?
Black is all the colors mixed together. No. Kidding. Black is an absence of color. And white is all the colors mixed together. Like light in a prism.
Isn't light in a prism refracted so you can see all the colors?
Yes. And that's how we know that white is all the colors mixed together.
Oh, I see.
I got so excited about math, I got a frog in my throat.
Does that happen often when you're excited about things?
Never.
Oh.
So, you think 0 is the first number.
I think so.
And I think 1 is the first number.
We're at a bit of an impasse.
What a binary conversation. Can you think of something that there's only one of?
Well, there's only one Earth. Does that count?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly the question.
Yeah.
Unless there's a second Earth.
I don't think so. They haven't made the sequel yet.
I prefer no jokes.
Where did you get your love of science from?
My mom, of course. She works for Hobby Lobby.
And she loves science.
Yeah.
This is a very serious conversation.
It is.
Yes.
Why do you think so?
That it's serious?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like we're really touching on some important topics here, like Hobby Lobby's love of science.
We all agree. So, Raj, you used to be a rocket scientist.
Yes.
And now you're retired.
I'm not retired. I'm
There's just a rocket waiting for you somewhere on hold.
I'm probably not going back to rockets, but I was trying to figure out what I want to do outside of rockets with my life. And so I'm taking a break to assess that and decide what I want to do with the next part of my life.
Isn't what's outside of rockets outer space?
Not if they're still on Earth.
Whoa! There are rockets still on Earth?
There's rockets in the room with us right now.
Where?
Rockets, you see, are more of a conceptual thing.
I don't think that's true.
I feel like I'm an authority on whether or not a chair could be a rocket.
You think you were because you were a professional rocket scientist, but
Mhm.
what you're saying is utter nonsense.
It's not nonsense. This is how rocket science works. People think it's a lot of math, but as we established before, no one really knows what math is.
Do other people you work with understand math, I hope?
It's the same level as me, yeah.
Uh-oh. So, how many rockets didn't come back from outer space after you sent them out because none of you did math?
I actually had a pretty good success rate. I think it was like 350 rockets that were successful.
You said 350 rockets?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
How far?
All the way to space.
Where in space? What exact location?
So, most of the rockets would go up and deploy something closer to lower Earth orbit. But one of the rockets went as far as like a third of the way to the sun.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm.
A third of the way to the sun? Was it disappointed?
What would it be disappointed about?
Because it didn't get all the way to the sun.
I don't think you want to go all the way to the sun.
If you shoot for the moon, you land among the stars. But if you shoot for the sun, you go 3/4 of the way there and then you turn around and come back.
You can turn around, yeah, that's an option. The thing about getting too close to the sun is it's really hot.
I've heard that.
Mm-hmm. That's about it.
Why?
Yeah, it's because the sun is a big gas ball, and there's a big fusion reaction going on inside it, and that fusion emits a bunch of energy, and that energy can dissipate as radiation and heat. So we feel the sun as heat here. In the vacuum of space, you would be irradiated, but also as you get closer, it is hot.
I have a lot of energy. Do I radiate heat?
You definitely radiate.
Oh, Raj. Should I become a rocket scientist?
Yeah. Remember, things aren't really... There's so much to explore in rocket science and space exploration that I think any idea you have is something that you could do.
Is there? Or is it just a void?
Space?
Yeah.
It's mostly a void, but isn't everything?
No. Lots of places have things in them.
Name 3.
The ocean. Your house. The sky.
I think the sky and the ocean are mostly voids, right? There's a lot of water in the ocean, but around, like, what else is there?
What's in the ocean?
Name, yeah, what's the thing? Like a
You're
shark?
a professional scientist? One shark is in the ocean?
I think there's a shark in the ocean.
Raj, I think that you should expand outside of science for your next job.
Did you ever see Jaws?
I have.
That had a shark?
Wait, you mean a movie called Jaws? Or do you mean a skeleton of a human body? Because I've seen that.
I meant the movie. But we can go back to the skeleton.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that?
No.
You haven't seen Jaws?
Is it good?
Yeah, it has a shark.
I love sharks.
It's really cool because the shark spends a lot of time on camera and you're like, that looks like a shark.
Wow, I believe you because I haven't seen it. So, do you go and see a bunch of movies because you like to date?
No, I don't think movies are a great date. I like dates where you can interact with people and have a conversation and get to know each other more. Just a situation where you can feel relaxed and be open with each other.
And what do you say when you're being open with each other?
I usually say, hey, I'm going to tell you the truth.
And then do you?
It depends on the date.
Do you just wink and say, talk to you later?
I mean, I do that regardless of how the date went.
Cool.
Yeah, I just like winking.
Winking is fun.
Finger guns.
Should we do winking and finger guns right now?
Let's do it to each other.
Let's do it to the audience.
Okay. Are we counting down from 1 to 0 again? Or?
0, -1, -2, -3, -4. Finger guns.
Finger guns.
That was fun.
That was a good time, right?
You must be fun on a date.
If you have finger guns, how can you have a bad date?
I heard that you recently got back from a trip to New York City, where you moved there only temporarily to see what it was like to date there. Is that true?
I want to see what New York City was like. Whenever I visited, I really liked the city. I really like Los Angeles too, but which is where we are currently.
I know.
Yes. I was just checking. But there's a lot of stuff to do in New York City. It's not just about dating.
Like what?
Have you seen the park?
Which one?
Yeah. And I also liked the Statue of Liberty.
Whoa, she's a symbol of freedom for many immigrants.
Yeah.
Do you like immigrants?
I'm pro-immigrant, yeah.
Me too.
That's crazy. Hobby Lobby family, huh?
What?
You come from a Hobby Lobby family.
Lots of immigrants like to have hobbies.
That's true.
And to make art.
Yeah. They really do enrich lives and our culture in America.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite immigrant?
Wow. P for immigrant. The Founding Fathers.
That's a good answer. All of them?
Probably one of them was here for longer.
Which is your favorite founding father?
Not Thomas Jefferson.
No?
'Cause of reasons.
Oh, do you want to elaborate on that?
No.
Okay.
Wow, you're asking the hard-hitting questions now.
I told you I like amateur journalism.
It's professional journalism.
Not for
Stop
me.
saying that. I like how George Washington, they asked him to be the king, and then he was like, no, I don't want to be the king. That's not what we're doing here. We're escaping kings. I like that. Who's your favorite founding father? I've never talked to someone about this before. It's so fun.
Not Thomas Jefferson.
Glad we can agree on that.
I think George Washington was pretty neat. I was a big Alexander Hamilton fan, and the musical came out. And the musical did not discuss his banking system in enough depth, I feel like. And I felt a little shortchanged by the musical because I was excited to finally understand how his national banking system was developed and how it works. Because textbooks are always just like, it happened and it was good. But instead, they just focused on things like who he was as a man and what his legacy is and stuff like that. And I found that a little dry.
So, Raj, I heard that you love board games. Is that true?
I do like board games, yeah. That is true.
What kinds?
I have been playing a lot of Blood on the Clock Tower lately, which is a social deception board game.
Wow, that sounds like scary and bloody.
It is, both of those things. It's mostly a game where you are trying to work with your team in order to win.
That sounds like most games.
It is exactly like most games.
Fun! You're doing a great job of explaining.
Yeah. It's, have you ever played Mafia or Werewolf?
I try to avoid the mafia and werewolves because they're scary.
They're only scary once a month, though.
Oh, I thought you meant the mafia. And I was like, what mafia are you hanging out with?
I think that it's important for us to face our fears. I think that's how you grow and become a stronger person.
I 100% agree. I like to be scared because it's important to feel all kinds of feelings, and especially to do things that make us feel uncomfortable.
When's the last time you felt uncomfortable?
Like 5 minutes ago, talking to you.
And see, and now don't you feel like you're a stronger person because of that?
So much stronger. Like I could get through anything.
You're welcome, Jane.
It's Suspender
Suspender.
Jane. It's my name.
It's your name, I'm sorry.
my
Yeah,
name.
it's your name. Do you have like a nickname growing up? People have just always called you just
Sus.
Sus. Okay.
But only my close friends call me
I
that.
was going to ask what you prefer being called.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Suspender Jane.
Are we on sus level yet?
I don't know. Do you want to be my friend?
Yeah. We've had an engaging conversation. And like I said before, I love to support amateur journalism, so I'd love to be your friend.
Raj, do you need me to tell you this again?
No.
As a hard-hitting journalist, I have to ask the hard-hitting journalism questions. So, Raj, what's your 5-year plan as someone who just left an industry and is figuring it out?
Part of my 5-year plan is I would like to work on an effort that makes a positive impact in the world.
You rolled your eyes as you said your own goal.
I blinked.
And so in 5 years?
I think climate change is a very large problem for us in our society. And so I think that's probably my next avenue of work and effort, is figuring out ways we can combat that.
Really? That's very interesting.
I think you would love it. You love science.
I do love science. And what part of nature are you most afraid of getting hurt by climate change?
Not the oceans, because there's nothing in there.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I would avoid the oceans. It doesn't seem like your area of expertise.
Well, I know about the shark.
More than one shark.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Have you seen him?
I don't think that you should show this video to potential employers.
I don't think I should either.
So maybe more trees?
Yeah, I think more trees would be a good start.
Mm-hmm.
I think reduction of carbon emissions would be a good start.
Mm-hmm.
I think an issue we're running into is that there's not a strong financial incentive for people to actually reduce carbon emissions. There's soft goals that countries have signed up to. There's soft goals that corporations have signed up to, but without any kind of enforcement of those, either through a strong governmental organization pushing for that, or again, without some kind of financial incentive for these corporations to do that, they're never going to. And the problem is, every extra year we spend not doing this, we're hurting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people several years down the line. By the time we actually start to see the results of these decisions to be neglectful about the environment, it'll be too late to actually turn the ship around. So
Sorry, I stopped paying attention. Are you on a ship?
I think there's questions about whether or not we have the right people in power right now who would support efforts on this. But I think maybe that shouldn't matter. And maybe we should be taking the efforts now because we understand they're going to be worth it in the long run.
So like vigilantes for the environment.
It's going to be like V for Vendetta, but instead of blowing up Parliament, we're going to focus on planting trees. Though ironically, Jane, if I can be honest with you,
Yeah.
I think a lot of the dry eyes comes from allergies.
Pollution.
Oh.
So that we were going to finish each other's
sandwiches.
No.
We almost had it.
We almost had it.
That'd have been a good clip.
Well, I guess we won't have any good clips. So, what did we learn today? Today we learned that Raj did not move to New York to date, but he did date in New York, but also he knows how to date.
I think we learned a lot about you, too.
This is my recap. Do you want to say something we learned today? Today we learned...
No, you can finish your recap.
It felt really important in the moment for you to interject, and then you didn't follow through.
Well, I wanted to make sure...
Is that what you're going to do with our environment? Hard-hitting. Today we learned that Raj can't let me get through this last segment without interjecting, but also doesn't really have anything planned to interject himself. Today we learned that Raj was an actual rocket scientist, but doesn't know what's in the ocean. And today we learned that no one who's ever worked on a rocket knows how to do math, and yet 350 rockets went into space, but didn't get that far. And that's what we learned today, with me, Suspender Jane, and my competent guest, Raj. Love you. Have an adult day. No, just me. Thank you.